Welcome to the Alfresco Digital Business Platform Quick Overview. Today I'm going to ingest some content using Alfresco Process Services where I'm going to review it and approve it. Once I approve it, it's going to go to Alfresco Content Services where I'm going to do common enterprise content management task on it. From there, we're going to declare it as a record and we're going to manage the life cycle of that content in Alfresco Governance Services. So let's get started here in Alfresco Process Services. I'm going to show you the process I designed. It's a quick and easy one. Basically, there is a start step that allows me to input the information, the project name, and a piece of content. From there, I'm going to review the document, and we'll either approve it or reject it. If approved, we're going to send it to Alfresco Content Services to store it. If we reject it, we're going to send an email to the user letting them know that we rejected their content and to please submit it again. So let's get started. I go here to my dashboard, and I'm going to click on the example app. I'm going to click on Start, and I'm just going to type in something simple like test01 for my project name. I'm going to go out there, I'm going to grab a piece of content. And there is a document that I'm going to upload into my form, and I'm going to click on Start Process. If I take a look at my diagram here, we can actually see the same diagram we saw a minute ago. As you can see, it's BPMN 2.0. And I can see where I started the process in the blue step. Now I'm in the green step where I am going to review the document. And then if I approve it, it will go to this gray step to save into Alfresco Content Services. Or if I reject it, it'll go to this gray step, which will send an email to the person letting them know that we rejected their content. If I take a look here at my task list, we can see there's a review document task in there. And I can actually view the document here in my browser, which means I don't have to download this and look at it in Microsoft Word. I can do it all right here in my browser. We can do that with common Office documents, PDF documents, audio, video, etc. So let's click on Approve. And now go to my process list, go to completed, and we can see that our example workflow is done. I have a full audit log, so I can know everything that happened in it. I'm going to save it to my desktop just to take a quick look at it. We can see all the inputs, such as test01 is the value, the document that we uploaded, and we can see who and when things were completed. So now that we're done with our process, let's take a look at Alfresco Content Services. If I go into my content from APS site, and think of a site as a collection of users and a collection of content that can be used together. And we can put permissions on there, we can put different roles in here to allow people to edit content or just view the content, etc. Go to my document library, and go to my projects list, and go to test01, which was generated by the workflow. And there you can see the Word document that we uploaded in the process has now been stored here in Alfresco Content Services. Let's take another look at some different contents. Let's go back to our document library and go to our drafts folder, which is empty right now. I'm going to click on Finder, and I'm going to drag and drop a few pieces of content into the system. Now, I can put anything in here, right? I can put Word documents or PDF documents or images, or audio files, video files, and I can generate a preview, which is going on right now behind the scenes. In fact, if I click on my Word document, just like you expect, I can actually view it right here in the browser, just like I could in Alfresco Process Services. So let's do a couple of things here. First thing, let's click on Edit Offline, and let's check this document out for me to edit. I'm going to save it to my desktop, and I'm going to open it up in Microsoft Word, and I'm going to make an edit to it. After opening in Word, I'll just put, this is my edit, and I'm going to close it and hit Save. Now that I'm done with my editing, I'm going to go here to Upload, and I'm going to upload a new version of it. And I'm going to grab from my desktop that working copy of the document, and I'm going to click Upload. Now, as you can see, we've already generated a new preview for it, and you can see that this is my edit, and I can even scroll down here and see that there are properties here of the document and a version history. Now, let's just say that the information I put into the Word document was wrong, and I didn't mean to do that, so I want to get rid of this edit. Well, instead of checking it back out and editing it again, I'm going to roll back to my previous version. I'm going to click Revert, and I'm going to click OK. And now you can see I have 3 versions of this document. That's because Alfresco is a system of record for you. Therefore, you need to know everything that happened to this document and when it happened and by who, so that we can trace that back in case we're ever asked by auditors. If I scroll up here, you can actually see I have reverted back to the old version of the document. Now let's show you another common feature that's very popular. Go to my documents. Here's a convert to PDF folder. I'm going to click on more, and I'm going to click on manage rules. I'm going to create a brand new rule from scratch, and I'm going to call it convert to PDF. And anytime a piece of content comes in the folder, no matter what it is, I want to perform one of these out-of-the-box actions here. And I'm going to use the transform and copy content. I'm going to transform it to one of these out-of-the-box formats here, and I'm going to use a PDF document, and I'm going to save that content to my final folder. Click OK. Run the rule in the background, so I have to wait for it to finish, and click Create. Now, let's go back to our Word document. Let's grab it, let's drag it, let's drop it into Convert to PDF. And you see that we still have the Word document. I didn't tell it to delete or anything, so it's still there. We still have our system of record. But now I have a PDF version of this document, which I can send out to my customers if I need to. A nice thing about this as well is I can actually go into redaction mode, and I can redact this content. Now, I could read through the document and find all the places I want to redact, or I can go over here to search, and I can search for patterns, or I can search for words that I want to redact. And I want to redact the word lorem no matter where it is. Even if it's inside of another word, I want to redact that word. So I'm going to put in there that I'm doing it for PII reasons, and I'm going to hit redact. And once I redact that and I hit save, now behind the scenes, we're updating everything, including the search engine, so that you can no longer find this Word document by searching for the word lorem. And actually, this is a PDF document. Let's go back over here to Final and see that we have our document. And you can actually see in the preview there that it's already redacted, and seeing here it's also redacted and seeing the words PII in there. We're going to do a quick search. I'm going to search for the word lorem. And it's going to pull back all the content that has the word lorem inside of it. As I scroll down through this, you will notice that document.pdf, which is the one we just converted and the one that we just redacted, is not in our search list. That's because the word lorem was redacted out of there. It's no longer available in our search forms. All right, let's finish out by going back into our content, going back to our PDF, and let's declare it as a record. Scroll down here, and I'm going to manually declare this as a record. Now, normally you use the rules engine to declare as a record based on a content type or being marked as final or becoming a major version, something like that. I'll do declare as record. And now you'll notice that a lot of our document actions have been taken away because it is a record now. I can no longer check it out. I can no longer add new versions to it. I can no longer edit this document. It is now here for viewing for me to find. Let me go into my records management site because that's where we manage the lifecycle from, even though the content is still in our normal content from APS site. Go to records management. And let's take a look at our file plan here. Now, as you can see, I have some unfiled records. There's a couple in here. One of them being that document.pdf that we just redacted a minute ago and just declared as a record. I take a look at it, everything looks fine, so I can say that this record is complete. But now I need to be able to file it somewhere. So let's go over here to our file plan and let's take a look at our financials. We don't have anything in there yet. We don't have a folder or anything like that to file it in because I want to show you that I can create a new category, and we'll just call this our yearly financials. And hit save. And I'm going to add, by going to the view details, a retention schedule to it. Now all I need to do is click on edit here in the retention steps and add some retention steps such as cutoff, which will just cut off immediately. So basically as soon as we file as a record, we will say that it's now officially a record and we're going to start our timer here for how long we're going to keep it. So cut off immediately. Hit save. And then we want to destroy this content after a period of 7 years from when we cut it off. Now we could also do stuff like events, right? We could do a case close or maybe the document gets superseded, something like that. But for us, simply we're just going to do a 7-year period and we will destroy the content. We'll hit save, we'll hit done, and now we have a retention policy. The last thing we want to do is make sure we have a folder we can actually store it in. So I'm going to click on a new folder and we're going to say 2020 for our year. Now, I, again, am going to manually do something, which is filing this piece of content to the 2020 folder. But normally you would use the rules digit to file this automatically based on metadata. Maybe the year was in the metadata, maybe the type of content, etc. I'm going to go to File 2, we're going to go to 2020, and we're going to hit File. And now the life cycle of that content has been applied to the content from the file plan. Let's pretend 7 years later, I go into my transitory content folder here and see I've actually got some content that is ready to be destroyed. You can actually see the destroy option is there. There's a problem though. Maybe someone has called us and said, hey, we need this content, please extract it for us and send it over to us. So instead of destroying it, I'm going to click on More, and I'm going to click on Add to Hold. And I'm going to add this to my legal hold. So now that piece of content, even though it's eligible for destruction, is no longer available to be destroyed until we actually remove it from the hold. Even me, as a records administrator, cannot destroy this content. But I can do stuff like look at the audit log, which someone may ask us for, and we can see everything that happened to this piece of content since it came into the system. Well, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove it from the hold. I'll remove it from that legal hold, and you're going to see my record actions come back to me, such as being able to destroy it. I'm going to click on destroy. It's going to say, do you really want to do that? Yes, I do. Are you sure you want to do that? The two-step verification to make sure we do want to destroy it. Hit OK. And now that content gets destroyed. However, the metadata stays back. That's because I may need to be able to prove that I kept my content as long as I was allowed to, and I destroyed it when I was actually legally allowed to. And I can actually create a generate document report. And we have our destruction report created now, which has been put in our unfiled records, and we can keep this forever if we need to. In fact, if I go to my unfiled records, you will now see there's a destruction report for my piece of content that just got destroyed. From there, we can file it as a record, we can extract it, we can send it off to whoever we need to. All right. Well, if you have any questions, please ask your Alfresco Enterprise rep, and we will be happy to answer those for you.